Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. I hope you guys are having a great day today, and we have so much to talk about today. And we are excited because my good friend Sherry Winkleman is back, and incredible singer, actress. She got, of course, she's been doing Connie Francis all over the country, and now she's working on a brand new Patsy Cline tribute. She was just here in town at the Taylor Street Fest. Also got a brand new movie coming out called Bingo Heist, which is exciting. So we'll have Sherry Winkleman on, folks. This is Ocean's Pit. Check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to first responders, but mostly it's dedicated to people like you who take the time and watch the show. This is Ocean's Pit, Monday to Friday at noon. It's showtime. So let's go to Thank you, Gina Manzella from Seventh Heaven, for that great intro. Guys, it's Ocean's Pit. It's Wednesday, August 21st. And boy, first of all, what a recap. We're going to recap tomorrow. Yesterday's little boat ride. We did Ocean's Pit live from Lake Michigan, downtown the Chicago River during the Democratic convention. Interesting stuff that we'll talk about. But in the meantime, let's get right to our sponsors, and that is Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Norridge's Plains, Evergreen Park, Warrenville, and Mesa, Arizona. They have so many great specials going on. 50% off all lawn and garden decor, 40% off outdoor decorative chimes. They have the lowest prices for all outdoor patio furniture, folks. And let's not forget to remind when you walk in to just say, hey, grill your Ace off and get $20 off any grill purchase. Nothing wrong with buying a grill now or a patio set now, even though summer is coming to an end. Get it now at a discount price, so next year you have it fresh and brand new. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Our good friends from Ace Hardware. All right, so it's good. It's fun, and we got a great guest tonight. Again, my good friend Sherry Winkleman is back with a brand new movie called Bingo Heist, and she's doing a big tribute to Patsy Cline, like I said earlier in the show, and also been around doing Connie Francis for a while. So we're going to have her on in a couple of minutes. But just let me give you guys a couple other details before we bring on our guest. Yesterday, our live Ocean's Pit View show, which we did on the Sea Sharp yacht, Captain Ron Starr, thank you, Ron, and General Robert Provenzano. We took it out. We went downtown and we did the show live. Over 3,400 views already on this particular show yesterday. And everybody was wondering what was it like down there during the Democratic convention. To be honest with you, yesterday, folks, when we were on the boat going live on Ocean's Pit, there was nothing. There was no traffic going down there. Hardly anybody was out. Not many boats were out. There was a few boats that, sightseeing boats. There was a few of them out there. But most of the people on the strip, outside the restaurants or walking in the park, all that stuff you see while you're going down the river, was empty. Normally on a Monday through Friday, those restaurants and parks and stuff like that would be packed with people. It wasn't. There was a lot of police officers on the water. There was a lot of firemen on the water. There was Coast Guards with machine guns on the water, just waiting to see if some crackpot's going to do something. I mean, just the Democratic convention alone is a bunch of crackpots. But I'm trying to say is just that that nothing. But I know it was happening later on in the evening. We were out of that. We were out of the city by 3:00. So the show was over. We went around a little bit, and so that's what it was. But I think later on, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we're going on. But our good friend Sherry Winkleman will be joining us back again. Like I said, she got a brand new movie coming out called Bingo Heist. And she got a brand new Patsy Cline tribute show. And she does a lot of good stuff. Connie Francis, Marilyn Monroe. She does it all. And she's going to be on in just a couple seconds. So let's get right back to another sponsor. That's our good friend, Mary Grievous. Buying or selling your home in the Chicagoland area, the perfect real estate professional, whether you're putting your home on the market or looking for your dream home, give her a call today. She's available to assist buyers, sellers, for sale by owners, expired listings. That's Berkshire Hathaway Stark Real Estate. Give Mary Grievous a call at 630-688-1725 or go to mgrievous@starkre.com and tell them Tony Ocean sent you. Our Ocean's Pit. Now, don't forget, folks, when you're talking about Mary, you also have to talk about NTD Vacations. And when you're talking about NTD Vacations, you're talking about the Chicago Music Cruise 2025, excuse me. All right, so you missed the one we did in January, over 7,000 people. It was fantastic on the Royal Caribbean, and we're going to do it again, folks. That's right, and you got to join us. It's going to be March 22nd to March 30th, 2025, Royal Caribbean, Oasis of the Seas. Now, listen to this: Fort Lauderdale, Carousel, Aruba, and Coco Key, Bahamas. That's just the ports, okay? Now the entertainment. Wendy Thompson with her tribute to Marilyn Monroe and Britney Spears. We got Hillbilly Rock Stars, the #1 country band in the city of Chicago. Mark Odette and Yacht Rock. We got Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez from GCI. Mojo's Jukebox, my new rock band. Tony Ocean and the Main Event Band. And let's not forget Seventh Heaven, all of us, 8 days, spring break, March 22nd to March 30th. Give my friend Mary a call at 630-688-1725 and get yourself on that cruise and join us, because it's going to be a lot of fun. The last one was a sellout. This one is going to be fantastic. Very good fun. And anyway, when you're out on the water, man, you can't beat that. And enjoying the ports and everything like that. And what's the difference with this cruise was we did the ports in the last ship. The last cruise we did was only like 6 hours on the port that you got to go out and enjoy. This year, the one in March is going to be 8 hours that you can be able to go out and spend time in Aruba and stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You got to join us on that. All right. Let's see who's watching today, folks. I want to thank you all yesterday for tuning in. Over 3,600 views yesterday. Robert, thank you, General, the enforcer yesterday with our Trump flags right underneath Trump Tower. Really getting all those guys all pissed off. It was good there yesterday, ruffling the feathers of the Democratic Convention. So it was good yesterday. There you go, Rose. How are you doing, my friend? Patrice, former Chicago Honey Bear. Iowa is in the house. What is going on? Nina Terry, how you doing? Santa Barbara, California. Kathy, how are you doing? Idaho, give it up for Ohio in the house. Our good friends from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. New York, New Jersey in the house. Madeline and Reed. Packy's in the house. Who was packing on the boat yesterday? Carol Brandolino, of course. Remember, Carol is our co-host every Tuesday on Twisted Tuesday. It was fun, Carol. You got to come up on the next one. But it was, like I said, there was nobody out there. I mean, there was nobody out there. But I'm sure the Coast Guards are watching our boat. There's 3 guys in there, standing with Trump flags. But nobody gave us a hard time, probably because they're Trumpers inside. Anyway, so it was a lot of fun. But we got a busy week coming up, folks. Besides the party we did for the Democratic Convention on Sunday at the Carnival with Ocean's Rat Pack. I'm not even going to waste my time with that. We're going to go right to Positano's tomorrow night in Oak Brook. That's a 7 o'clock hit. Me and Lisa P. and Jerry Jams. Friday, Chicago Prime Steakhouse with Daryl Armenstadt. Saturday, returning to Mars in Lake Geneva, Mars Resort in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, with the Main Event Band. That's a 4 o'clock hit. So a lot of good stuff happening and a lot of fun. Make sure you guys come out. And Mars, got to get there early, folks, because I cannot save seats. It is a madhouse over there. Kathy, how are you doing? Yes, Dennis will be celebrating your birthday. Joy, welcome to Ocean Spit. Kathy, how are you doing, my friend? All right, coming up in just 1 minute, my good friend, Sherry Winkleman. So before that, time for another quick sponsor, folks. Air Airtight Windows. Airtight Windows. Oh, yes, windows and sidings. You know, it's that time, whether you got a business, whether you're a home, looking for, if you're looking for new windows and you want it done right, do it right with Airtight. For honesty and quality, dependability, do it right with Airtight. Service in the Chicagoland area for 35 years. Do it right with Airtight. Call Louis Pipes at 708-788-5000 and tell them Tony O sent you. And all these companies that sponsor our show, folks, what's very important for we know that they're all buy local and shop local. They're all mom and pop organizations, and they'll give you special deals. And it's important to support local establishments. Make it all America, baby. That's what it's about. All right. So enough of that. A lot of stuff to talk about, too. And don't forget tomorrow, Laura Ocean as my special guest. We got some great guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. Billy J. Kramer. Remember Billy J. Kramer in Dakotas? Biggest British invasion band right next to the Beatles and Herman's Hermits. Now, remember, 2 weeks ago, we had Carl Green on, the founding member of Herman's Hermits. So Ron Blagojevich, the governor, is going to be ex-governor, will be joining us soon next week. So we got a lot of people coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be bringing on Sherry. Looks like we lost her for a second. I don't see her on the screen there, but we'll be, hopefully she's on here. So there's a lot of good stuff happening. Are you on? All right. So yeah, like I said, thank you for everybody that called and emailed and said, be careful. It's going to be, do this, do that. Do you want Todd Mayer on Lake Geneva? Yeah, I'd love to have him on, Dennis. Absolutely. Karen, hope you're doing well. We were all packing beer, whiskey, and gummy bears and cigars, Robert. We forgot cigars. That's what it was. All right. So waiting for Sherry Winkleman. She was on there. Yes, I have no idea why it went dark. Still sitting here. I didn't touch it. I didn't. All right. Well, I don't know. We got to wait till Sherry was on a couple of seconds ago down there, ready for her to hit. And she is dark. She's going to, relog in again. That would help. Anyway, Sherry Winkleman coming on in a few seconds, folks. Let's get to while she's doing that again. Let's see. Yes, please relog. All right, so she's coming on in just a few seconds. And yesterday, my wife, Laura, and my sister, Natalie, and the girls, Marissa, there she is. Marissa, Nina, and Gianna all went to Teresa Caputo concert yesterday at the Arcada Theater. I want to thank Ron Onesti for those beautiful tickets. Thank you so much, Ron. My wife and my sister and my kids enjoyed it. She's, I don't know if she tells the future or shit like that. Anyway, she's a comedian. There you go. She's a comedian. There you go. Oh, she's Armenian. How's she Armenian? She looks like she's Italian. Oh, she talks to the dead. That's what she does. And by the looks of her pictures, she looked like she was dead. So that's just, anyway, but it was a lot of fun. Thank you. She's medium. Thank you, Carol. All right. So here we got, before we lose her again, let's get her on. Sherry Winkleman is in the house. Hi, Sherry. How you doing?
Hi there. Good. How you doing, Tony?
Well, great to see you, honey. Great to. Hey, let me ask you, where are you at? What's going on with you? Where are you at right now? Were you in Chicago? Where are you at?
I just got back to Atlanta after being in Chicago for the fabulous Italian festival, which I had the great privilege, thanks to Ron Onesti, to perform at. So,
Sherry, was that your first time there, or were you there before?
No, I've been to Taylor Street and Addison several times. So I think that was my second or third time at Taylor Street.
Yeah, it was fantastic. When Ron puts something together, it's always fantastic. But let's talk about you. Sherry Winkleman is in the house. I met Sherry years ago, and with Marilyn Monroe and Connie. Now you're doing this Connie Francis thing. And now you're working on a brand new, also Patsy Cline thing. Now you do a bunch. You're also an actress. You've been doing it commercials. You've been doing movies. You've been doing stuff for a long time here. But let me ask you something, Sherry. You were on the show before, but how long would you say you're doing all this in your career-wise? How many years?
Acting since I was 5 in the Good Ship Lollipop. Tribute acts for probably 15 years.
Yeah. Did you always did you get into the tribute acts thinking, because at one time the tribute acts weren't there, and now it's huge. Now it's just taking
Yeah.
over everybody. Were you excited about getting into it, or did you have any hesitation saying you'd rather just stick to something else?
It was a complete happy accident. I had moved back to Chicago from New York, and I started a small entertainment company, and everybody kept calling for Elvis and Marilyn telegrams. And I didn't have anybody to do Marilyn. So I said, well, how about like senior Marilyn or a comedy Marilyn? So I booked these first gigs, and they were ridiculous. And I had a ball. And then I started looking into it more, and I thought, I've always wanted to sing. And so I thought if I could start and kind of build an act, this would be a great way to get those singing chops going. So I built a whole hour show as Marilyn, and then started getting out there more and more and just having so much fun. And I found, I'm a equity actress, but I found that I could make more money doing a tribute show in an hour than I could do, union theater for a week. So I was like, on a practical level, I was like, I love theater, but my goodness, what it pays compared to doing a corporate gig is like night and day.
Yeah, and Sherry, why do you think why do you think it's so attracted to people? Obviously, you can't see Marilyn Monroe anymore. You can't see Connie Francis anymore. You can't see these people anymore. But what do you think that attraction is? Like, you got Ellie Weinhard watching, who does Joan Rivers, of course.
Ellie's in the house.
And so, what do you think the attraction is to all these tribute acts?
I think, Marilyn and Elvis are like king and queen. They're like the royalty of this country. So I think that feeling of having a moment with a celebrity, which will never happen, it's the closest people can get. So it's kind of a magical fantasy. And for the tribute artists that are still alive, like Connie, she's not really performing anymore.
Right.
People love her music so much, so they remember her. And I think just to have a moment of experiencing everything that she evoked, out of them, such a beautiful voice and such a beautiful time, in the late 50s and 60s. I think it was a little less tumultuous, and I think it just brings back, at least for a lot of the people I perform for, so many good memories. So they want to relive those beautiful times, with their family or their loved ones, and experience, that gorgeous music again.
It takes them back to magical times, like you said. Yeah. Some better time. Well, better times. I don't know how you want to call it, but much better than it is now. But what I'm trying to say is that it is so cool. You also had a Bobby Darin guy. Did you bring him in? Did you bring him in as part of your show?
Yeah.
Now they did go out. Didn't they go out in real life? Connie Francis, but didn't Connie Francis' dad did not like Bobby Darin, correct?
Well, he ran him off with a gun. So if that gives you any indication, her dad was dead set on her having this magnificent career, and he was the architect of her magnificent career. And when this fella came along, he thought he was going to take her off track, and he was kind of cocky, and he didn't trust him. And they had secret plans to elope. That was the love of her life. And he literally busted into a studio, backstage, and ran him off with a gun. And then when she found out he married Sandra Dee, she was devastated. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and Connie Francis, what an incredible voice that she has. Wondering why she never got the respect due that she should have got. You know what I mean? Not many people. Some people know who she is. Some people don't know who she is. Why do you think that was?
I think because at one of the high points of her career, there was that horrible attack, that rape that put her out of the public eye for many, many years. And I think that had a huge impact on her career. She was huge, even bigger in Europe and in Germany and in the US. But I think that interrupted her career horribly, that awful crime.
Sherry, isn't it kind of interesting when you go to different countries? You're like, they really appreciate the entertainment more than they actually sometimes do in the States.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Why do you think that is? I remember with the Rat Pack, we did a show in Japan, and it was like, I mean, they just like, wow. I don't. It's like it's a different feeling. Why do you think, in your opinion?
When I've gone to Europe, what you'll see is a cathedral that's maybe taken 4 generations of a family to build. In America, we're so young, everything is instant. So there isn't the appreciation that art or great art takes time. And most of the countries, well, as I say, all the countries in Europe have funding for the arts, which we don't really have in our public system anymore. Our government has destroyed all funding for the arts, and even as a filmmaker now, there's no funding for film in our government. German, they get like 30%. There's a lot of money for film in other countries in Europe. So there's not there's so much emphasis on commerce here, and that making the almighty buck is going to put you ahead or make you a big person or give you status. And I think Europe has such a tradition of art and cultivating things that it's an integral part of everyday life. Whereas here, it's been out of the schools now. It's like it's separated. Like artists are these weird stepchildren instead of a valued part of a healthy balance in life. Like if you don't have art and music and song and creativity, you're missing a lot of your heart.
I mean, let's be honest. During COVID or during the flu, however you want to look at it, when people couldn't leave the houses, whatever they couldn't do, music is all we had.
Yes.
Music was all we had. If you have a heartbreak, it's the song you remember. If you got married, it's the song you remember. Something happens in your life or whatever it is, you got a job, you got a part in a movie. There's a song you'll always remember that goes along with that, which is fantastic. Sherry Winkleman is with us, folks. Actress, singer, got a lot of good stuff going. Tell me about Patsy Cline. Now, here's another country artist, way over her time. I mean, she did some incredible songs. Some people might not know that the song Crazy was actually written by country singer Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Some people might not know that. So what's your take on Patsy Cline compared to all the other ladies that you do tribute to?
Oh my God, they're all so special. I started doing Patsy because I spend most of my time in Atlanta now, and everybody wants country in the South. And then, I mean, Patsy's the queen of country. She was the first, the best, always, Patsy. Her lilting, her longing in her voice reminds me of Connie. They both have this kind of crying in their voice. And Patsy, even like with her emotion, she'll go off key, but you require it because the emotion is so beautiful that you don't want it perfect all the time. And I mean, even though her voice was like perfect, just so much feeling in everything she sang, so much feeling. And it's simple, but it's not. It's very complex when you try to sing it, and you just realize what this woman did so naturally is very hard to duplicate.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely a talent and a standard in the country community. That's for sure. We just we did the Josie Awards in Nashville, where the Rat Pack won at the Grand Ole Opry, and seeing some of those stars in those dressing rooms and pictures it was just crazy. But what are you going to do with this Patsy Cline review? Is it going to be her songs, her story, like you're telling the story? What's going to happen with this thing?
Yeah, mostly like the stories that go along with the songs. Her life was very short and very quite tragic.
Tragic, yes.
Yeah, but certainly a lot of stories related to the songs that she chose to do. And I've got a band, so I'll do it, tracks when the budget is not there and with a band.
The budget's not there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it always is. Sherry Winkleman, not only a singer, actress, she wrote a movie, and she's a writer too, obviously. And she's done. It looks like she can do it all. This great woman here. You got something called Bingo Heist, which you wrote and you actually starred in it, which is very, very, very cool. And it won second, right? Came in second to Comedy Austin Film.
Yeah, the script. Festival. We haven't shot it yet. Well,
you're shooting it. Right, exactly. Yeah. But, okay, so number one, Did you always want to write your own stuff like this? No.
No. That was another happy accident. I never thought of myself as a writer, but basically, doing all these auditions, I'm like, I'm not seeing the kind of thing that I would really want to play. So I thought, if I really want to create a character that I really want to play, I'm going to have to write it myself. So that's how it started.
And that makes a lot of sense. And it takes guts to do that. But then not only writing it yourself, Sherry, you also want to star in it.
Yep.
And that's got to be a little bit difficult too.
Yeah.
So basically tell the people what the story is about Bingo Heist.
Well, in a nutshell, it's about a Southerner who and her pet goat, which is her best friend. She cooks up $100,000 bingo scam to save her trailer park community from a corporate buyout engineered by her controlling ex-husband.
Uh-huh.
So it's a fun caper, but with a very kind of serious message underneath, and that is all these people that are losing their homes.
That's very, very cool. Well, it sounds interesting. It sounds like an interesting plot, which is kind of cool. Any idea when this thing might come out? You're trying to raise money, correct, on this?
Yeah. We have a wonderful producing team on board now and a director. So that was the first steps. Well, first is getting the script right. You do many rewrites, and you kind of can tell by how you're doing if you're placing in the contests or not. So you enter it in these contests, and if you're getting no traction, it's like, better go back to the drawing board. But
back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And you have to figure how many times in all these movies and plays or people around, how many times you think they have to rewrite and go back and back, right? People, it can't be that easy. It's not a very easy process at all to do.
No, it's a strange art form. You got to imagine it all in your head, and all these characters are talking in your head. But to me, that's the funnest part, because I have a whole cacophony of people up there, and then I just get to write down what I hear them say. But I did quite a few drafts, and then I hired professional screenwriters to give me feedback and, tore different things apart that I was attached to, but I saw, let it go. And then I got to the script to a very good point, and yet it placed second round in comedy at the Austin Film Festival. So that was good. And then I entered it in a pitch contest for the Cannes Film Festival in France, and I won a spot with 17 other people last May to be able to pitch. So that was really nice.
Fantastic. That's great. And it's good that you're doing it all on your own, but you're talking about coming up with something original, like you're coming up with this plot to this movie, which is original. But unfortunately, when you see movies these days, Sherry, what happened to there is no originality anymore? And what is your take on it as an actor?
That's why I started writing. It's very frustrating. You've got the studio system, which has the money, but they don't have the courage, to take many chances. They're going to give you these remakes, these prequels, franchises, sequels, and they're just bleeding them dry. Like I think there's a stopping point. I don't even know if they're making nearly the money they once did with all these franchises. They just don't like to take risks. So if they've got something that's made money, they stick with that. Just you'll see on TV, a million different medical shows, a million different crime shows.
Yes.
And it gets really boring to me after a while, especially as an actor. So what sector I'm in is independent film, which is a lot tougher because you have to bootstrap it, from the ground up, get the production team together, raise the money.
Sure.
And then you have to find a sales and distribution channel for your movie, because some great movies get made and then they don't get sold and they sit there.
And they sit on the shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. From start to finish, it's a heck of a process. My mom is like, why don't you do something else?
Yeah. You know what though, Sherry, the way you're working, the way you do it, I'm sure you're going to be very successful with that. What about, I know you do plays and theater. What is the difference in your opinion between live theater and shooting a movie?
I love live theater. I will never, ever stop loving live theater. There's nothing that beats the interaction that you have with a live audience. I mean, getting to do Marilyn and improving that comedy, and basically because I'm Marilyn, I can get away with saying anything.
Anything, right?
Yeah, that Sherry might not be able to get away with saying. So I love that. And everything is so politically correct now. When I play Marilyn, I'm like, look, all bets are off.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. This politically correct stuff. How, and I think, I forgot it was Jerry Seinfeld. And a lot of people were saying that the comedian now is completely, the B-rated or R-rated comedies now can't be shot. Nobody wants to see them anymore. They're not shooting them anymore because everybody's getting offended in Hollywood and all this crap. As a take, as an actress and actor yourself, what's your take on that? I mean, you can't even have any fun anymore. I mean, it's crazy what's going on.
It's horrendous. As a comedian, I mean, I started doing stand-up comedy. I'd like to do a lot more, but I know when I get going, I have no filter. Then I am like, I'd be canceled in about 10 minutes. So I'm trying to write, stuff so that it can still get in there. But I think it's very sad what's happened to all this. My feelings are hurt. It's like, well, everybody used to be able to talk about things, and comedy is our way of leveling the playing field. We're all human. We all have foibles, and let's laugh about it. We don't have to be perfect. And if your feelings are hurt, then don't watch it. But to cancel people is a tragedy. We're missing half of the great art, because
yeah, I mean, for even Jerry Seinfeld was a pretty clean comedian to come out and say that we can't even do it. I mean, for him, that powerful voice that he has in comedy, it's just crazy what's going on. But theater, Sherry Winkleman is on, folks. Tribute to Marilyn Monroe, Connie Francis, her new one with Patsy Cline, a new movie that she's working on called Bingo Heist. We'll hopefully be seeing it soon. Sherry, theater, you've done theater now. What if you have a problem? Say you're a great actress and they want you out there, or a guy, but memorizing the lines aren't that easy for them. Do they still get the job because of who they are, and how do they get around that? How do you get around doing it?
Not so. It would be tough to get around that in theater. I'm not sure what the workaround would be, but I know for film, I know some great actors, friends of mine, that are names, and they wear earpieces so that they can, have the lines fed in when they're on set. And it may not be because they have trouble memorizing. It may be because they are booked so fast on job to job to job that they just don't have time to
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like soap operas. I heard that's very hard for people in soap operas with all the lines that they have to memorize because they're shooting all the time. That's crazy stuff. Sherry, in Atlanta, how long you been there? When did you leave for Chicago to go to Atlanta?
I left during COVID because I got an agent here, and they said, if we're going to rep you, you have to live here because you may have to go in for COVID testing within 24 hours, and you can't drive here that fast. So that's what prompted it. And I drive back and forth a lot. So I'm in Chicago about 4 or 5 times a year, and I still love Chicago. I still consider it home, but I'm spending,
right, sure. Sherry, 2020, March of 2020, you hear about COVID-19. Comes on the TV, whatever. You can't go out, you can't leave, nobody's working, blah, blah, blah. What was your thought at that time when you first heard it?
What did I think about COVID, or
when you first heard about it? When you first heard that this is going on, what was your first thought when hey, you're no more jobs right now, things are being canceled, what was your head at?
It was kind of shocking. I mean, my sister and her family all got it immediately. Like before we really knew what it was, they were one of the first ones to get it. So I was running over there with vitamins, and nobody really knew what was going on. It was kind of scary, but I mean, I don't tend to live in fear, so the extreme measures that happened, and I thought it went too far, like I look at the model of Sweden and how they fared, and they did a lot better than we did. And I, as a small business owner, they destroyed us, like it was a lot of, I think it was too extreme.
Yeah, I think so too.
Countries that fared better with their health and their economy, and they're doing better than we did.
Well, let's hope that shit never have to come back again. Okay, yeah. Sherry, now, if you took the three between Connie Francis, Marilyn Monroe, and Patsy Cline, now, Marilyn obviously didn't sing. I mean, she sang a couple things here and there, but Marilyn would have to be the most popular, correct?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and what a tragic life she had. I mean, boy, came in and, supposedly you hear so many rumors how she died. Supposedly she was sleeping with Bobby and Robert Bobby and John at the same time. And supposedly one of them maybe have got pregnant from one of them and they had to get rid of her. Silent story. Man, you hearing a lot of different stories. What a tragic story that that poor woman had to go through. And so she was young when she died, right?
Yeah, 36.
I mean, that's unbelievable. And they haven't made have they made an epic movie on her that's big I've seen like some TV movies. Was there anything big on the major screen on her?
There was, oh gosh, I think it was just called Marilyn. It was out a couple of years ago on Netflix.
On Netflix. Okay, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody else besides anybody new that you might want to pick up too, I mean, you already do Connie Francis, you already do Marilyn, you do anybody else that you're thinking that maybe will come out next?
I just did my first Adele show about 2 weeks ago.
How cool is that? Now, see?
That was tough. That woman's got pipes for days. That was
she's young too, right?
Yeah.
She's like early 20s, right?
No, she's in her 30s.
Oh, in her 30s now. Okay. So could there be an Adele tribute coming in the future?
Yeah. I mean, I managed to do a half an hour of her music at a big event at the Sheraton here. So
that is fantastic. Fantastic. That, you know what? It's amazing that you keep trying to reinvent yourself and you're always posting stuff. You're always doing stuff. You're always trying to get to the next level. We're all trying, but you know what? People ask you, what would happen to you, Sharon, your mindset, if you became overnight sensation? What would you think change in your life, in your head?
What would change in my head?
Yeah, what would you think? I mean, some people end up changing with the times, but you know what? If you're down to earth, you think you could stay that way?
Oh yeah. The first thing that would change is I'd take my family on a vacation.
It's your bank account. The first thing that changes is the bank account.
I would take my mom to Europe and I would take care of the family. No, I would do more to help people. Years ago, I had a company distributing blue-green algae, and I got to be one of the top salespeople in the company. And I did a volunteer project. I funded the whole thing myself with Tibetan refugees. I studied a lot about their cause. So I was traveling to India every 2 months and volunteering my time and bringing all these health supplies to them. So I would do a lot more for the arts and for women and just to help people. If I had a lot more money, there's a lot more good I could do. And of course, more art. I would just keep writing and producing more movies.
And one of the last questions, I know you're busy. Why is the government taking other arts away from the schools and the funding? Why is this happening in your opinion?
Well, why are the comedians being silenced? I think art is when you have an original voice, you're more dangerous because you're not in lockstep with the powers that be and everything they want you to think and say and believe. You can't be controlled as much. So what do they do in communist countries? Arts are the first things to go. In China, I had a friend that was a brilliant brush paint artist, and they, this was obviously a long time ago, but Tiananmen Square, they shut all the artists down and all the scholars. They sent all the school teachers, to work camps. So I think anytime you are trying to control people, you are trying to control their voice, and art is the way that your voice gets heard.
It's pretty sad. We never thought that would happen. I mean, you hear about happening in other countries, but you never thought it would happen here in the United States. And since the whole COVID or whatever you want to call it, and since this last regime that we've had in this particular country, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. So the question I'm going to ask you is, if a young girl or boy comes up to you and says, hi, Mrs. Winkleman, I want to get into this field, acting or whatever, singing, what advice can you say to these people right now?
Move to Europe. No, I'd say marry somebody rich.
Marry somebody rich.
So
right? You got no. It's almost like. But right now, I noticed these stars are becoming famous over this.
Yeah. There is that. There's
overnight. I mean, billion views or whatever. Boom, and
Yep.
next thing you know, you're touring the country with your band.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of influencers that are now getting known, and I think there's some great talent being discovered,
Yeah.
and then some of it is just views. Whatever people tend to like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is another avenue these days. But I have mixed feelings about social. We're all on it, and it's a great way to be visible and a great way to let our work be known. But I also I would love the old fashioned days where it's like the marketing was all taken care of by your agent and your reps, and you could just focus on art and not have to be.
Remember when you had to bring your posters and you had to drop them off at the nightclub, and your flyers in the corner used to hang them out, put them on car windows. Remember, coming this Friday, come and see us. We're going to have a great crowd.
I've gotten out of a speeding ticket because of my flyers. Remember, a cop pulled me over and I just pulled a flyer and I'm like, would you like to come to my Maryland show? And just totally distracted him. So love those flyers.
Love those flyers. Sherry, ladies and gentlemen, Sherry Winkleman. Don't forget, look her up with a tribute to Patsy Cline coming up. Marilyn Monroe, Connie Francis. Adele coming in the future, a brand new movie called Bingo Heists. It's going to be fantastic. If they want to book you or what's your website, Sherry, please let people know.
You can find me on Facebook, Sherry Winkleman, SherryWinkelmann. Also Instagram. My two websites are MarylandShows.com or ConnieShows.com.
There you go. And you'll be able to find you. Sherry, thank you for your time and thank you for what you keep doing, and just keep coming up with more acts because it is fantastic. And we got a couple of the Rat Pack stuff's got some stuff that's working. We'd love to get you on maybe and hire you to do all your characters. I think we'd have a ball with that. That would be a lot of fun.
It'd be an honor.
Absolutely. Sherry Winkleman, thank you so much. You have an incredible day. And God bless you, man. And just keep doing what you're doing, hon. Thank you so much.
You too.
I'm going to keep trying. Thank you. Sherry Winkleman, everybody. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you, Sherry. And don't forget, check her out, man. A new movie coming out called Bingo Heist. They're filming it right now. It's very cool. And her stage plays on Connie Francis, Marilyn Monroe, and Patsy Cline, and working on Odell. You got to love it, man. Chicagoan, another one. That's a lot of good stuff here, folks, and we have a lot to talk about. But before that, it's time for another sponsor. That's right, our good friend Jack Vena Landscaping. We've got it all here on Oceans Pit, and they're all family-owned businesses. Jack Vena Landscape, they offer monthly maintenance programs, bush trimming, spring and fall cleanup, bed mulching, fertilizing, weed control. They offer plant design, service, installation, servicing the North Shore for 44 years. Call Cousin Tommy at 847-432-5266. Tommy, if you're listening, we miss you, buddy. Get better and come out and see us soon. Another good friend of ours, our good friend, Gorelli Pavement Services. Family-owned and operated. They include Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, specializing in parking lots, doing both asphalt, concrete work. They do repairs, replacements, seal coating, craft filling, lot painting. They're a 5-star rating. Call and speak to a knowledgeable representative at 815-271-5835 or go to GorelliPavementServices.com and tell them Tony O sent you. That's all you got to do, and you're going to get some great companies to come to your home or business and take care of that stuff, because that's what we need to do. Buy local, shop local. You're watching Ocean's Pit, a little show about big things. Angelo, thank you. Dennis, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, make a rich woman your wife. A point of view, that's a great tune, Dennis. I love that. Ronnie B. Elvis is in now. Jimmy Parker from Nashville. Good. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Bobby Brandolino is in the house for Brandolino Encore Music from Shorewood, Illinois. Linda, how are you guys doing? And if you just tuned in, you just missed the great Sherry Winkleman, actress. Great to have her on. Very, very cool. All right, so I've asked people yesterday when we were doing the show on the ship, on the boat. I hope Cousin Tommy's watching, General. I hope he's watching. I hope he is. So I was asking anybody what they did for a living, and a few people answered it yesterday. And I think people were too overwhelmed with what was going on with the water and everything when we were in Lake Michigan. So just asking you guys, some of you people here, Joe Sett, how you doing? Keith, how are you doing? What do you guys do for a living? Tell us what you guys do for a living. Whoever's watching the show right now, I know some of you what you guys do, but I don't know what you guys all do. I'd love to know what you guys do. Obviously, you all know what I do for a living. I'm an entertainer for the last 31 years. That's why you're watching. I'm doing this podcast now since 2020. Ocean Spit has been around since 2020. So when you're watching right now, folks, just tell us what you guys do for a living. I would love to find that out. And in the meantime, it's National Radio Day for all you radio lovers out there. Love listening to old radio shows and listening to the radio. Also, National Aviation Day for all you flight people out there. Very cool on that. And listen to this. I was looking up different jobs. But before we do the jobs thing, Long Grove, Illinois. Every other week, there's a picture of another truck trying to get underneath that bridge in Long Grove. And he was right. Every time, every month or so, there's another the Carnival. Thank you, Albert. We'll get to that very shortly before the end of the hour. You get that Long Grove Bridge. It's beautiful. Long Grove, Illinois. It's beautiful down there. It's all, they have the shops and everything like that. It's very cool. But every month or so, there's another truck that gets stuck underneath that bridge. So I looked up. Emo, how you doing, my friend from Florida? I'm a retired last job, worked for the Cook County Sheriff, helping subpoena for the sheriff. Very cool, Emo. So 50 times since 2020, which is only 4 years. I didn't ask behind that, but farther than that. But since 2020, ladies and gentlemen, Long Grove, there's been 50 trucks stuck on trying to get underneath that bridge in Long Grove. 50 trucks. It's insane. Now, either they're going to have to tear the bridge down or raise it up or ban all trucks from that road. I mean, just ban it. They shouldn't be there. 50 times. Do you imagine that? The cops, they get called over to the bridge. Well, Henry, I guess what happened? Oh, another truck stuck again. Well, call on and get the sheriff, get the town out. It's like, what the hell? 50 times. All right. How about these other jobs? Window washers and high rises. We were talking, me and the general and Ron Starr were talking about this yesterday. How much does a window washer make to do the high rises? And I thought it would be a hell of a lot more money. According to this, when I just looked up window washer and high rise, what do they make? They make anywhere between $20 to $29 an hour to get up in those high rises, those skyscrapers, to clean those windows. $20 to $29 an hour. I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth it to get up like that, right? Is it crazy? $20 to $29 for window washers. Light bulb. The guys have to change the light bulbs way up on those, whether they're outside skyscrapers or whatever that was. This guy is only like $27 an hour. Even the guy at the World Trade Center who used to have to repair that antenna. Well, there's probably antennas in a lot of other giant buildings and skyscrapers right now, right? At the top of these, there's these antennas that they have to change or fix, whatever it was. Those guys make $32 an hour. That's got to be a job that scared the shit out of you. I mean, your whole life's in risk there, folks. Your whole life's in risk. I'm going to tell you something about our Carnival gig tonight at the Carnival Fulton Marketplace. Tonight's show has been postponed due to the problem was when we were doing these particular shows and what they've been doing them for the last 4 or 5 days. We did it on Sunday. Nick Sahajas did it on Tuesday, the Piano Man. And Richard, no problem, buddy. Always great to see you. The shows were starting at 10 o'clock at night. Unfortunately, what was happening was most of the stuff that was happening for the Democratic convention, the parties didn't end till like 11 o'clock, 11:30. So by the time they wouldn't get enough people to actually come into those atmospheres, restaurants to have a 10 o'clock show. So tonight's show has been postponed and moved to a regular show in the fall. People, I just got to remember to remind everybody here, folks, that I did not get hired by the Democratic convention. I would have never took that job if they did hire me. I was hired by my good friend, former state senator, Bill Marovitz, who owns the Carnival restaurant, and they hired Oceans Ratback to entertain people from the convention or people for the convention. People said, Tony, how can you be a Trumper and you love Trump and you're, please. Let me just remind you guys again, we were not hired by the National Democratic Convention. We weren't. We were hired by the restaurant to entertain people. Oceans Ratback and Irene Michaels, we were there to entertain the people that were there, not by the party, just to make sure that we get all that straight. What is the price was right, then you would let them hire you. I don't know what the price would be, Richard. There is no price. I couldn't work it. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I couldn't do it. So the question is, the price wouldn't do it. And I'm definitely knew if they did their investigation, they knew they would not be hiring me. Thank you, Albert, for all the updates of what was going on in the city yesterday. And like I said, not much was going on at the time that we were down on the boat. Again, thank you, Ron Starr, for that. Let's go to some headlines here. Fox News 5-4 decision. The Supreme Court has rejected a Biden-Harris administration effort to allow biological men to enter some women's spaces in states that currently have restrictions against it. Do you believe, folks, that this vote had to get down to 5-4 and the Supreme Court won 5-4? It had to get that close? What is wrong with these people? Wrong with these people? And you know how much I love Chicago Prime Steakhouse. I work there every Friday. They got some great deals. They got something there, folks, called the Millionaires Club, and how that works, whether you're there all the time or whether you're there sometime, if you come down a couple of times a year or whatever it is. They have two ways that you can join this club. You can take $50 out of that credit card, or they take $75 out of that credit card, and they match it every month. So the points just keep growing. And eventually, all you end up paying is your tax and your tip. And you can only get that at Chicago Prime Steakhouse in Schaumburg. But they also have now senior citizen specials for some of our older folks here. Special menu starts at $14.95 per person. Listen to this. Chopped steak with mashed potatoes, or chicken marsala with mashed potatoes, chicken parmesan with mashed potatoes, king salmon with mashed potatoes, chicken Caesar salad, prime pork with mashed potatoes. Pretty good. From 3 to 5, Monday through Saturday at Chicago Prime Steakhouse, 3 to 5. Not bad. $14.99 per person. You can't beat that for a great deal, folks. For all you New York Yankee fans or just baseball fans in general, Juan Soto has now homered against every major league team. When we went to see him, when we were at the White Sox New York Yankee game, Soto hit 3 home runs just on that game when we were there. But he's hit a home run against every major league team. Kudos. Congratulations, Juan Soto from the New York Yankees. The Hard Rock, new one, the Hard Rock Casino in Rockford, Illinois, of course, partly owned by Mr. Rick Nielsen, of course, of Cheap Trick. A couple of days ago, the Hard Rock 62-foot replica of the Cheap Trick guitar that Rick Nielsen plays was arrived, and it's a checkerboard one. It's going to be the big statue there when you pull up to the brand new casino in Rockford. It will be the pinstriped guitar, look just like Sir Richard Nielsen. Rick Nielsen, of course, of Cheap Trick. So that's going to be very cool. And I'm happy for Cheap Trick to get something like that. Animal stories. Meet Coco, an 84-year-old parrot. This Coco is 84-year-old blue-fronted Amazon parrot with an extraordinary past. Brought to the Netherlands during World War II, cocoa faced many challenges, including mistreatment and multiple relocations before finding a loving home. Think about it. 84 years old parrot named Coco. See, there's some good stories. We were talking yesterday also, or the day before yesterday on Tuesday, we were talking about cars and problems. Ford found on road dead, fixed, repair daily. Right now, folks, Chevrolet owners between 2000, if you have a Chevrolet that was owned between 2019 and 2024, you're getting cash compensation back for your faulty vehicles. You might want to get on that. Must be 2019 or newer. And you might want to look under that on the Chevy website, folks. Look that up. This is breaking news, Fox 32 News. You might get paid because there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happening with these automobiles and these companies and this food that's being recalled and this and that. It's going to hell, folks. It's going to hell. Holy moly. Vice President Kamala Harris wants to compensate. Listen to this. This is the woman who's running for president of the United States. This is the woman. That's what she wants to do. Kamala Harris wants to confiscate patents owned by individuals and companies for their products. Quote, I will snatch their patent so we, the federal government, will take over. I hope all the businessmen are listening here, folks. If you have a patent, you or your company have it, they want to take that. So they own that too. Not only do they want to tax you and take your money, but now they want to take your ideas and take it from you. Facts. Check it out. Oh, I did not know that. The McAdoo, right? The Makatu, if I'm pronouncing it right, can live over 100 years. Wow, Dennis. All poor with $25,000 to buy a house. Yeah, it's crazy. Here's a perfect example. You're thinking $100,000 a year. Okay, people are going, wow, that's pretty good. Salary looks like, do you know what it looks like after taxes in certain states? Let's see here. In California, if you make $100,000 after taxes, you make $72,000. In Arkansas, it's $73,000. In Arizona, it's $76,000. In Alaska, $78,000. Alabama, $73,000. So you're better off moving to Alaska if you're making $100,000 because you'll get back $78,000. Not bad, folks. Milton Friedman said it best. Keep your eye on how much the government is spending because that is the true tax. There's no such thing as an unbalanced budget. You pay for it either in the form of taxes or indirectly in the form of inflation or debt. You want to find out where the inflation is and how much spending? Find out how much the government is actually spending because that is the true tax. Man, all these great things. The six largest, here, listen to this. The six largest publicly traded oil companies made more than $70 billion in profits in 90 days, ladies and gentlemen. Stop saying inflation when you mean record-breaking corporate profits. Six of the largest public, listen to this. That's crazy. Oil companies, $70 billion they make in profit in 90 days. In 90 days, folks. President Joe Biden, or step down, whatever you want to call him now. Breaking news. President Biden's family found to have received more than $27 million from foreign individuals and entities. No shit. No shit. And if you own gold right now is it, folks. Gold can reach $2,500 an ounce for the first time in history if you guys got gold. And then give them a tax break. Thank you, Boyd. Thank you for that. Then give them a tax break. That's why I refuse to pay income tax. tax. Well, tax is going. Dennis, I noticed that some gas stations, is going down a little bit. You know why? Because it's election year. Oh, look what they're doing. They're lowering the price of gas. Running for vice president, J.D. Vance, the closest Tim Walz has ever come to comeback is when he let rioters burn Minneapolis to the ground. That's all you need to know about Tim Walz, ladies and gentlemen. Updates, according to Fox 32 News, Hunter Biden's motion to dismiss case denied hours before the Biden Democratic Convention speech. Hunter going down. And I love this quote. This one is very important. We've been conditioned to think that only politicians can solve our problems. But at some point, maybe we'll wake up and recognize that it's the politicians who created their problems, these problems that we have. This, according to Democratic Convention, you know that they had the Palestinians have the protesting, and it was peaceful protesting. Even though they broke through the barricades, it still was peaceful. But yesterday we had some problems. Democratic Convention hit by bomb threats. Cops investigated anti-Semitic statements and warning pipe bombs were placed at certain hotels. They were saying a lot of crazy stuff too. That there was supposedly, rumor has it, I mentioned it yesterday on the boat. I don't know if you guys got a chance to hear it. They said that they had like an abortion truck parked in front of the convention center with like a food truck. And look at about this. There's a few articles in today's Tribune about the mobile health clinic. A mobile health clinic a few blocks from the Democratic Convention offering free vasectomies and abortions, folks. There's a friend of mine, I won't mention her name, but she did post something on her social media page, on Facebook. Here's what it said. Walking out of a restaurant, and a person of color puts her infant in the car, and while the manager runs out to ask if she's going to pay her bill, the lady says nope, jumps in her car, and takes off. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what it is. People are doing this stuff. People are getting away with crap right now because the police can't do nothing. If you're going to get arrested, you're going to get no bail and you're going to get let go free. People walking out of restaurants, people robbing shit. It's crazy. It's nuts. All right, folks. Well, if you let's see there. You know what's coming up next? Nothing tonight. Polish Heritage Fest, right? Is that in the ballpark today? Sox game, is it, or the Cubs game? Polish Heritage Fest. That's tonight. Also, Irish Heritage Fest. I think yesterday was the Italian Heritage Fest, and you get a hat or whatever the hell it is. Have you ever noticed that a person who has nothing will help you faster than a person that has everything? God, is that so true? Looking at the time, folks, we're running out of it. And don't forget our good friends from Armando's Supermarkets. Buy local, shop local, 925 Liberty Street in Illinois. And don't forget Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair. For all your collision auto repair needs, go to crashchampions.com. And thanks our good friend from Deutsch Power Center, my good friend Sal, servicing the construction and diesel industry in Chicago after 100 years, our good friends from Deutsch. Guys, also, I want to thank our guest today, the great Sherry Winkleman, Marilyn Monroe, Patsy Cline, Adele, Connie Francis, and a new movie coming out called Bingo Heist. So thank you, Sherry Winkleman. Tomorrow, folks, Laura Ocean is back in the house. Very cool. Let's get right to our sponsors. Again, one last time for Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Norridge, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville, Mesa, Arizona. Download the Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. Ace is a place helping neighbors before there were neighborhoods. And again, tomorrow, Positano's in Oak Brook. Friday, Chicago Prime Steakhouse. And Saturday, August 24th, will be at Mars Resort in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. It's going to be hectic. It's going to be mobbed. It's going to be fun. The weather's going to be beautiful. So I can't wait to get there, folks. Also, next Wednesday, we'll be at Rosario's in Roselle. Next Thursday, Pasta Mia in Bartlett. Next Friday, Taste of Melrose Park with Tony Ocean, the Main Event Band, and Ocean's Rat Pack. And September 1st will be at Septemberfest in Schaumburg with the Main Event Band. And speaking of our lovely animals, Ruby Whiskers Foundation, it's an animal shelter for dogs. We're doing a fundraiser for them on September 30th at the Tiny Tap or the Tap Grill in Lamont, Tap House Grill in Lamont. It's going to be great, folks. A lot of great entertainment there. Ronnie B., yours truly, Daryl, Kim Peterson LeFew, Felix Greco. I mean, a lot of people, and all the money's going to go for our friends, the Association of Ruby Whiskers, Danny Nozak, and the people there. So it's going to be good September. All right, folks, it's coming to the last thing for us to do is birthdays for August 21st. Julie Newmar, better known as Catwoman, on the old Batman shows, celebrates her birthday. Gary Loazzo from American Breed. Bend me, shake me anywhere you want. Happy birthday, Patricia Richardson from Tool Time, whatever it was with... Anyway, she turned 73 years old. Andrew McCarthy, of course, a former member of the Brat Pack, 61 years old. Tom Walbat from the Dukes of Hazzard celebrating a birthday. Chicago entertainer Amy Steffen celebrating a birthday. How about the lead singer from the old band The Boys? The Boys again. Dirty Dan Buck celebrating a birthday. John Ritter from Three's Company would be celebrating a birthday. Lorraine Gray from the movie Jaws celebrates a birthday. Dash Crofts from Seals and Crofts celebrating a birthday. Orange Man George Hamilton, always looked tan, 85 years old. Lily Tomlin, one ringy dingy, 84 years old. Pat Priest, better known as Marilyn on the Munsters. My good comedic friend, a longtime Pat Capuzzi, celebrating a birthday. Let's not forget Eric Todd, my good friend Eric. Happy birthday. Gloria Estefan, 66 years old. Fess Parker, Daniel Boone, and Davy Crockett celebrating a birthday. Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's. Our good friend Joey DeFrancisco, his son Joey, turns 21 years old. Little Joey, happy birthday out there, pal, on August 21st. And last but not least, part of the problems with the Democrats, Bill Clinton, former president of the United States, turned 77 years old. We got to go, folks. Remember the great words, a friend in need is a pest. And we also remember, buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment, the great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. Remember, we're not all going to get along, but just be kind enough to one another. It's important. It's important. God bless you all. See you tomorrow with Laura Ocean, Ocean's Pit. Bye-bye, everybody. God bless you.
Oh, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great